Welcome to Agriculture ZW. We are now joined by the South African president of the Boran Society, Francois Smit. So, Francois, thank you for taking time out of your day and joining us to be here this morning. But my first question to you is, being the South African president, why are you interested in the Zimbabwean Boran cattle market?
Well, I think the Boran, we in South Africa see the Boran as a Boran family from Kenya down to Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa. It's we've got common ground, and it's always interesting to see what the progress is that they make in Zimbabwe, and that you can see at the National Sale. Last year I was quite impressed by the offering, and I think it will be nothing different this year. So it will be interesting to see what's on offer and to see what progress they're making.
And so a difference between, the Boran Society in Zimbabwe is that it's been welcomed, whereas in South Africa, you're trying to change the perception. What is the perception of the Boran cattle in South Africa, and why do you want to change it?
I think the only perception that we want to change is the Boran's position in the commercial sector. There's a perception that it's stud animals and they don't really fit into the feedlot system, and that is a perception that we need to change. It's just they are so strong in the commercial market and making ground every year, every day, doing better and better in our high-cost production system in South Africa involving the feedlots. The Boran is a very good alternative, a low-cost animal, low-maintenance animal that can do very well. We just need to change the system a bit, tweak it, and do backgrounding, and then finish them quickly in the feedlot. And we find that to be a very profitable alternative, and we want to change that perception. You don't need to fit into one system. Animals can fit into different systems and still be very profitable, and that is the Boran. That's where they fit in the system in South Africa as an alternative to the conventional feedlot system.
So you'd like to see more Boran cattle in South Africa?
Well, we're making a lot of progress. We're already the third largest stud breed in South Africa, but we're making a lot of progress in commercial terms. And this alternative marketing channel will obviously make sure that the Boran grows in South Africa as a breed and make a lot of progress. You must understand there's a lot of emphasis on cost and the high production cost of red meat in South Africa. So if we can move to a breed that can help us to produce red meat on a more sustainable basis at a lower cost, that will be very attractive to commercial farmers.
All right, well, thank you very much, Francois, for your time. I hope that sale goes well. Maybe something might just pique your eye and your interest.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Hook, Chairman of the Zimbabwe Boran Breeders Society. I would like to introduce you to one of our international guests, Jimmy Brooks from Kenya. He's an ex-president of the Kenyan Boran Society, and Jimmy's just here visiting Zimbabwe and going to tell us about the history of Boran. There we go.
Yeah, so thank you, Jimmy, for your time. But please tell us a little bit about the Boran as to where they come from and what unique traits make them so special.
The Boran comes from the Horn of Africa, the sort of southeast corner of Ethiopia, the Somalia and northeastern side of Kenya. It's a very arid area, so your Boran is ideally suited, or has been developed over centuries to work, to grow and perform in difficult conditions. In 1951, the Boran Cattle Breeders Society was formed in Kenya. Ranchers before that had been bringing cattle from northeastern Kenya, bringing them down and raising them on their properties for producing beef, and over time they'd selected for improved animals. So they formed the society and set up a set of rules of what one needs to look for to get what they call a good Boran. Effectively, you're looking for an animal that's going to produce beef, that's going to produce it efficiently, that's fertile, so that you get a calf every year. And by selection of these improved animals, we've developed a standard to which the animals have to meet, and they're inspected. When the animal reaches a certain age, it is inspected to ensure that it complies with that standard. I mean, an animal can be out of 2 pedigree parents, but if it's not the right standard, it just gets thrown away. You can't just say, oh, because it's parents are pedigrees, it's also a pedigree. So that's the work of the inspectors to do that. Yeah.
And you touched on they do very well in dry and arid regions.
Mm-hmm.
But are there any specific, breeding or management requirements to get the best out of the Boran cattle?
Not specific management requirements. They are disease resistant, tick resistant. So they're an advantage over a lot of the exotic cattle that people favour because they look nice or whatever it is. But basically, your Boran is an easy animal to keep, so which is why it's attractive to commercial breeders, and it should be the same for even small breeders. Have an animal that doesn't need a lot of veterinary inputs. Have an animal that performs by itself without special in. You don't have to feed it maize, you don't have to feed it wheat, you don't have to feed it whatnot. It can eat grass, which is what we want it to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Jimmy, for your time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Hook again, Chairman of the Zimbabwe Boran Breeders Society. We are very honored to have Federico, who's flown all the way in from Paraguay to tell us why he has decided to crossbreed with Boran. Morning, Federico.
Morning.
Yeah, thank you, Federico, for your time again. As Mark has just mentioned, you are using the Boran cattle in Paraguay and using them to crossbreed and create a new gene pool. Using that gene pool, why are you doing that? Why is the Boran cattle so attractive to you?
Okay, we run cattle on tough environments there, where you have a rainy season and a dry season, and the dry season sometimes can go over 6, 7, 8 months. And what I have found from the Boran cattle is that they are very efficient when using the grass. They can graze dry, standing grass, piled grass for a long period of time, and they don't lose any body condition. They are very aggressive breeders. They are excellent mama cows, and and they are very fertile as well. So in those conditions, and they are tick resistant as well. So in those conditions that we've got there in our area in South America, they are very efficient, and that's why I decided to use them and crossbreed with our Brangos.
And you have 10,000 cows, so where do you see the future of the Boran cattle in commercial farming, but also small-scale farming as well?
I think 80% of the beef of the world is produced in tropical areas. Okay, not in temperate areas, but in tropical, where there is heat, where there is bugs, where is ticks, and I think the Boran has a big space to cover in those areas. They are, as I was saying, that they are very efficient. They are very low maintenance animals. You don't have to spend a lot of money for maintaining them. Actually, they maintain themselves just on grass. They don't need to be dewormed. They don't need to be dipped, and so on in our regions. So they are very eligible, I would say, for large scales or small producers as well. I think it's a great tool for using it largely in South America and many tropical areas of the world.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Federico. We know that you are a busy man, and we hope all your Boran farming goes well.
Thank you very much. I'm glad I'm here and to know more about the Boran. I'm excited to be here in Zimbabwe, and we'll be here touring the Boran activities for a few days. So very excited to be here, and thank you very much for you guys.
Well, that is it on the Boran cattle farming. head on over to agriculture.co.zw where you can always enthrall yourself in good agriculture news. But that's it from us today.